Hello, welcome to Learn to Thrive with ADHD. Today we're going to talk about a tool that I thought was a little strange when I learned it. And the reason we're even here today doing this video is I've used this on clients. It's been super helpful. I actually had a client recently that I used it with and it made her feel so much better. And I promised to do a recording for her. So I thought while I was doing that, I would just do it for everyone else. So what we're talking about is regulating our emotions or processing emotions. So did you know 70% of adults with ADHD struggle with emotional regulation? That's a huge number. And so if you get angry easily, if you get really sad, if you get really anxious, if you get very overwhelmed, that's you having a struggle with that emotional regulation. It's not your fault. There's 70% of us that are having that trouble. Emotional regulation, if you don't know what that is, it's being able to control your emotional responses. And in this video, I'm going to share with you why I thought this was weird, what we do with emotions on default, and the tool for learning the skill of allowing any emotion. So if you don't know me, I'm Mande John. I'm a coach for adults with ADHD. I'm founder of Learn to Thrive with ADHD, which is a coaching group. On this channel, we talk all things ADHD. I try to bring things that will help you. I try to bring you coaching concepts, and I try to show up every week for that. What I like to say is we are here to make your life easier. It's a weird tool. When I first learned the concept, I was like, I don't know how that's going to help. And I'm going to walk you through it as though I'm working with you as a client. It will not be exactly the same because I would respond to your responses, but it will give you an idea. And I think I'll get to the way I want you to consume this. I showed up to a coaching call. And I put these different emotions here because I was angry, I was crying, and I was sad. I actually felt probably a little more violated than sad. My boundaries were violated. And I had just started coaching certification. And I usually did not schedule my own coaching calls where I get coached on a Saturday. And this thing happened on a Saturday that just had me. I'm normally not that emotional. I was just could not really control my emotions at all. And because I had experienced coaching for a long time before I even got into certification, I understood that it was perfectly okay for me to show up to the call a mess. And so that is what I did. And she helped me by using this tool that I'm going to show you. And afterwards, I can't say that I felt 100% better, because the emotions were still there, but it brought down the emotions so much that I felt like I could handle them. So how this tool will work, this is where I was going to tell you how I want you to consume this. I want you to watch through the process. Normally this would be something that you'd close your eyes, you would be listening to it, but go ahead and watch through the process so that, especially if you're a visual learner, so that you're seeing the questions as I'm asking them. Then if you're having some sort of trouble, and we'll talk about those emotions. I'm going to give you a little crash course in emotions here in a little bit, but come back when you need this and then take the tools that I'm going to offer you. I'm going to give you a couple free tools that will help you do this for yourself. So crash course in emotions, Emotions 101. We are not usually taught to deal with our emotions. I mean, think as a child, and it's no fault of anyone's. I mean, your parents want you to be happy, right? They don't want you to be sad or angry or upset. You should be happy in school. If you're not, there's a problem, right? We're meant to be happy, or we are wrong, is what I put here. And I like that little picture where it's, these guys are kind of standing out from the crowd. So what did we learn to do with our emotions? We learned, number one, to resist them. We tense against them, and that just makes them worse. It makes them bigger. We react. That would be acting out your feelings. That would be yelling if you're angry, crying. And that's not to say that you can't cry. Absolutely, that can be very cathartic. But when you can't really control yourself, that kind of thing, acting those feelings out in those ways. Or we avoid. That's a huge one for a lot of us, right? you're distracting yourself or you're numbing yourself. So this can be what I call overing, which is not a word, but overeating, over drinking, over Netflixing, over using your phone, overworking, over educating yourself can even be a way to avoid. So what are those things that you're overing to avoid your feelings? So what you will learn, and I put accepted here, how to allow negative emotion, how to be a compassionate observer, how to accept negative emotion rather than trying to get rid of it. What I want you to do through this process is imagine that it's you that I'm working with, and you might come to the call feeling anger, frustration, fear, guilt, shame, loneliness, anxiety, worry, helplessness, resentment, failure, overwhelm, resentment, sadness. I'm sure I could even add more. And you're struggling with this or a combination of these things, most likely. All right. I showed up to that call feeling like 3 or 4 different things all at once for that incident that happened. I want to say this is not medical advice. If you are feeling unsafe or you're feeling suicidal or something like that because of your feelings, you need to seek professional help. For suicide, there's suicide hotlines. Perhaps you need to see a psychiatrist or a therapist. This is a tool for our everyday life. This is not medical advice or something that you should do instead of medical attention. Okay. So I just want to make that very clear. I am not a doctor. I'm going to start the process now. And what I would do, and I'm not going to keep talking through, I'm just going to act as though we've gotten started. Okay. What are you feeling now? Which of those feelings is the biggest feeling for you right now? Okay, I want you to breathe. Take a deep breath. I want you to get comfortable. And when you're ready, I want you to close your eyes. All right, now feel free to talk about what is happening for you throughout this process. I want you to check in. Where do you feel this feeling in your body? What does it feel like physically? If this feeling had a color, what color would it be? Is it hard or soft? Does it have a texture? Is this feeling fast or slow? How does this feeling make you want to react? Now I want you to breathe into it and go ahead and feel this feeling as it is in you. Why do you think you're feeling this? If this feeling had a message for you or something to say, what might it be? I want you to check in with it. How might it be only natural or maybe even perfect that you're feeling this way right now? Now I want you to take a deep breath again. And I want you to check in with it again, right where you were feeling it before. How does it feel now? I want you to take this with you throughout your day and let it stay as long as it needs to. It's not a problem that you're feeling this way. You're capable of handling this feeling, and I want you to notice the wonderful things around you as well. This feeling doesn't have to leave. Peace and pain can exist together. It will move on when it does. Now I want you to take one more deep breath and open your eyes when you're ready. How are you feeling? Okay, so before I move on, I want to kind of explain some things here. What will happen through this process and what my clients experienced, what I experienced that day and what I've experienced since is when you concentrate on the sensation in your body that that feeling is causing, whether it's anxiety or anger or whatever it might be I know for me, like if I'm feeling shame, it's a tightness in my chest and I almost can't breathe. Like when they tell me to take a deep breath, it's difficult. And then by the end of the process, and remember, they're talking me through this process. It's not just the questions that I asked here today, because you would tell me things and I would validate what you're saying, and then I might ask you more questions about that. And so this is not the whole experience, but it gives you a great idea of the experience. What my clients and myself have experienced is just a softening of that feeling. Like if I had that tightness in my chest, I'm able to breathe so much better. My shoulders have dropped. My shoulders aren't like up in my neck and tight. The feeling just seems to really reduce and get smaller and more manageable, but it's still there. And the important thing about it being still there is, and not that it has to be, it might completely dissipate, and that's fine. But the important thing to talk about with the fact that it might still be there is we have to learn to deal with discomfort. And these negative feelings that we have are uncomfortable. If we can learn to have the uncomfortable feelings and not make it a problem, we can do anything. Imagine that. Imagine if fear wasn't a problem. What would you do? Imagine if anxiety wasn't a problem. What would you do? I could go through a bunch of examples, but if discomfort, embarrassment, for example, if discomfort wasn't a problem, we would be unstoppable. And that's what we work on in coaching, is to make discomfort just part of the process and okay, and just part of the 50-50 of life. Okay. So starting to close things up. If you want more, you can check out my website, Learn to Thrive with ADHD. You can catch me on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm Learn to Thrive with ADHD everywhere. On Facebook, we have a group that you can join. Here is my link tree, which you will find in the description. You can book a consultation call. You can visit my free download page. All my downloads from I give away a freebie every single time now, I think. They're all there on the download page. There's the website right there, the Facebook group. You could subscribe on YouTube, or you could just do it right now. And you can check out the podcast that I was featured on. And here is the freebie. All right. So all those questions that I took you through, almost all of them, most of them are in this processing emotion worksheet right here. And that is in the free downloads. What I decided I'm going to do special for this particular video is I'm also going to create an audio that has only the questions, not the talking before the video, not the talking after the video, just where I'm asking the questions, so that you could have a guided experience that you could download on your phone or wherever you might need that. I should say that's also going to be in the download section. It will be right with the Processing Emotions worksheet. And I would love to hear from you. Please, I love to hear your comments. It just makes my day. Did you try it out? Did you think it was weird too? I mean, it's kind of out there, right? But it works. Do you have any questions? Do you have any ideas for the channel? Are there things you would like me to talk about, or the things you'd like me to teach? Yeah, any ideas that you might have. And go ahead and subscribe. You can subscribe. I think it's going to be right here. Hit the bell so that you get notified each time we put out a video. We are really working on weekly videos. I took a little break there for a bit. As you can hear, I'm still recovering from being a little bit sick. But check out the next videos. We've got tons on the channel. All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.